Okay, guys, thought I was done with Southwest Audio Fest coverage? Think again. I actually saved one of the best things for last, especially if you're a fun-loving audiophile who is about the music and the interactions, socializing aspect. After hours is one of the reasons I still go to these shows. I kind of bored with going into the rooms during the day. I still like it, but if they didn't have the after hours fun and interacting with you guys and the vendors and listening to cool music that isn't the stereotypical audiophile stuff, after hours, it probably wouldn't be my flavor of doing as many shows as I do. And this show excelled in after hours, both the first night in the Classic Audio Reproductions room, but then I hosted one in the Prodigio room. And it was standing room only for 2 straight hours. Now, I'm not an egomaniac. I know a lot of people there were people I know and people that did come to see me, but mainly people were there because we gave $10,000 plus in giveaways. I think the total was closer to $13,000 worth of giveaways, including me giving away my sub that I had built, a do-it-yourself sub. But there were great giveaways by Spiritual Sound Cables, Viablue Cables, Norman Varney. I hope I'm not leaving anybody out. Oh, Unique Home Audio. Mike Sweck, who is the distributor for that room, gave away some of his personal stash. It was a ton of good giveaways, and we played Name That Tune for some of the giveaways, a raffle. It was just a fun night. So I've got that captured in video, although I didn't film any of it. So another shout out is to my friend Bob, who you've seen on the channel. And he was the one that got the Stevie Ray Vaughan hat in Fredericksburg. He filmed this for me. He didn't film everything, so this is choppy a little bit, and I just let AI put all his clips together and give you this snapshot of what we did after hours. But it'll give you a little bit of the fun side of the hobby, a little bit of the after hours if you missed it. And I think some of the times we do some talking. I talk about the system because I didn't talk much about the Prodigio system in my wrap-up video and the Aries Cerat and the Bach. But also you're going to hear from the vendors that are giving away stuff. And these are the type of vendors you want to support. I can tell you, I vet vendors constantly. That's part of my process when I go to these shows, is gathering intel on these vendors. How do they treat other people, not just me? Yeah, I do have an advantage being a press badge. You sometimes get treated good. But I used to be, for 30 plus years before I had a channel, I was just everyday guy, fly on the wall, listening and seeing how people treated each other. And I've constantly used that information over the years to build my intuition and focus better and better on who I focus on now. Sometimes people go up in impressions over the years. Sometimes people go down. And so these are guys I can almost assuredly tell you to be thumbs up for as far as I can see. Cameron with Spiritual Sound Cables. If I didn't represent Viablue, he would be one I'd happily represent. Super happy with Viablue. They contributed. They weren't even there. I couldn't make it, but she made sure we had some giveaway cables. Mike Sweck with Unique Home Audio doing the room and planning all of this and giving some of his personal stash. Norman Varney, as I mentioned. And one of the things that sometimes, just an FYI for the industry, I know one time Val with the core was asking, why are you doing after hours with Mike Sweck? And I'm like, number one, he asked, okay? So it's not like I'm partial to any one distributor. Yeah, he carries the speaker that I happen to buy and love and use in my room, but he asked. And so other people do after hours, and I think even Val was using at the time Michael Fremer and some other guy. So in any case, all you have to do is ask, and if you're a respected dealer, distributor, manufacturer that wants me to participate and help with your room and do any after hours, just ask in advance, plan things in advance. That's how I operate. I give everybody a fair shake, just like I do with my coverage. I try to go to every room, give everybody a fair shake, but this was something that Mike planned in advance. We've had a lot of success with it at Tampa. Hopefully you'll get a flavor for it in this video, so enjoy, guys. I get some beer. Really drunk last Saturday night at Velvet Lounge, and then we went to an after party after that. And Mike Sweck, where is he? I'm right here. Come up here, please. So I will be releasing this video, but you guys are going to get a preview of what's in that video, because I'm going to play the song that Mike created a new dance too.
Oh, God. I was drunk.
You're not getting on it.
I don't even know if I could do it. I don't even know how to do it.
It's going to be
He's already turned 6 shades of red.
I won't release the video, so pressure is on you.
I don't think I can not.
I think everybody deserves.
Mike, you know
everybody
it.
will deserve a koozie if they watch this. So let's see.
Oh my goodness.
Put me on the spot there.
Oh. Come on, elbows out. Elbows out.
Do it, Mike.
Do not break your knees. All the way down.
I'm going to try.
Oh, man. That's impressive.
Wait, you forgot the elbow.
Do it the right way. Anyone doing those?
There you go.
Way better drum.
Much better drum.
And I'm 57.
If you got a raffle ticket, make sure you did get a raffle ticket. I'm going to give one of the better gifts right off the bat. Then we're going to play Name That Tune. And there's a couple of benefits. If you know 80s, we're going to play some 80s. I'm going to give you that tip. But also, if you've been watching my Instagram, we spent the weekend in Fredericksburg and we went to do karaoke. And Michaela, who's in the back, did a karaoke song. If you know what song she did, you might win something. And then other things I posted on Instagram. So basically a reward. If you know a lot of stuff on my channel, I'm going to give rewards for that. But let's start off, as soon as everybody signed in and got a ticket, we'll give away one of the bigger raffles. Name That Tune is going to be a little less fancy gift because I can't for sure that I'm picking on the right person at the right time. So raffles will be the big gifts and Name That Tune will be the little gifts. The other thing we'll do is I'll give each of the vendors a chance to share what the system is. If you didn't get a chance to come see it during the day, come tomorrow and listen. This is a sweet spot, and we'll try to rotate it out. Dave sat here before. He's actually been to my house.
Just tell me, I'll switch with you.
And it's calibrated for this seat because we are using the Bacch, and we're using my bin right now. But this is, if you don't know about the Bacch, schedule something separate. I can go into more details, but there's a lot of Bacch owners here who can tell you about what it does. And in terms of spatial cues, frequency response correction, replacing your DAC preamp server, some people put money in their pocket getting the Bacch. But one of the highlights is both the gear, Aries Cerat pairing with Prodigio, something very rare. It was done first in Vienna, and super high-end brands on both fronts. In terms of tube technology, one of the best in the world, one of the few brands I would consider going back to tube for. And then the Prodigio is obviously a fan, I'm a fan of, because this is actually my speaker myself. This is the one, and I'll give a big shout out of why, many reasons why. The sound is obviously why, but it's about who you deal with. And I remember being in Munich and they grabbed me out of the hallway and said, you gotta come hear our speaker. And I was on the way to listen to another electrostatic, which all the other electrostatics I auditioned that year, I knew I wanted electrostatic, but it just none of them could do bass right. And so they grabbed me out of the hall, brought me in. I was about to go to Metaxas, and I heard theirs, and I remembered hearing them in Seattle. I was like, oh my God, they're so good. And then on the way out, he showed me a picture. It was an AI mock-up of this speaker. And just jokingly, I said, that's so cool. I said, if you build it, I'll buy it. Now, I didn't know how much they were going to charge. I didn't know anything. I was kind of joking. But they literally did it within like 2 to 3 months. They built this, and they built it for me, and they sent me a prototype, which I featured at Dallas last year. And a company, well, okay, yeah, I'm an influencer, and there's a reward if they do that, but most companies wouldn't do that. They wouldn't create a speaker. But they had already had this in their vision. They just needed somebody to believe in them. And I did, because this is the only speaker, electrostatic, that passed all my tests. And what a lot of electrostatics do is try to beat physics by just making it wide, like Sound Labs. And nobody wants to buy a speaker this wide, and nobody can fit in their room. What they did is they figured out they could increase the excursion. So if you increase the excursion, it's the same physics equation. You're moving air. You're just not having to move it with a wide panel. And the only trade-off they found in some cases is that the panel, instead of now not having bass, it would roll off at the top. But is that a big deal? Most of us can't hear over 16,000 hertz or even 10,000 hertz at our age. But if you can hear to 20,000 hertz, there is a tweeter to fill in that gap. And what this does is a much better trade-off for if you compare to a hybrid electrostatic where they put the bass driver at the bottom, roll it off at 200 hertz, which you can locate stuff between 100 and 200 hertz. So when you have a Martin Logan, as great as they are, usually the sound stage creeps down when you hear male vocals because you can locate 200 hertz, and that male vocal has a lot of content, 100 to 200 hertz. And also, a pistonic driver in a big cabinet is resonating the cabinet. This is a driver the thickness of a human hair. You do not want extra vibrations in the cabinet that aren't related to the actual driver. And in terms of the cabinet, yeah, this is a $100,000 speaker, but if it was made by other speaker makers that do aluminum cabinets, YG, Magico, who do phenomenal speakers, but they have to create huge cabinets because it's a box, and they have to have a huge cabinet and a huge CNC machine. This is all aluminum under the core, and then it's corian on the outer shell. And then, so you're getting totally aluminum, just like these other companies, but you're not having to pay for as much aluminum and the CNC machine investment and R&D. So it's an open baffle. The only trade-off with these that I found, you have to treat the back wall, but if you have a piece like the Bach, it'll tell you where to treat it, how much to treat it, what the effect is. With point source, you have a whole different variety. You have a tweeter, a mid-range, a woofer of different type, trying to combine, trying to get to your ear at the same time. Once people hear these, at least in my case and in many people's cases, you really can't go back. So if you want to enjoy that center seat at any point or here, get it calibrated, we'll do that after hours. Well, why don't we start with one of the raffles? Mike, do you have the raffle box?
Raffle box.
Because I want to reward people that showed up right at 9 and give away one of the. So many people know that I have kind of transitioned. The only way I make money, I don't charge any vendor. I don't charge advertising. I never ask for money for a video. I do everything for free. Actually, every video I post has music in it, so Google doesn't even pay me. So everything I do, it's free for the most part. But I have, because anything that I buy and use in my home system, a lot of the manufacturers approach me and ask me, I could be a home dealer. So I am a dealer now for these. I'm the only one, well, actually one of my customers has these now too. The Bach, and then also Viablue cables. And I could tell a lot of stories about them, but the biggest litmus test in the room, you could talk to Bob here. He's ordered probably more Viablue than anybody from me. What I'm so proud of is that people try a Viablue cable and they always order a second, third, filling out their, and these are great people from Germany. They construct their own connectors, and don't overlook the quality of connections and what's under the hood of that connection. So many of these fancy brands I've been able to see under the hood, and most of them won't even show you a cross section of what's under the cable. And yeah, I've been very impressed with Viablue. So anyway, which cable is this?
That's the Viablue. It's an RCA MFS1.
Okay, so what I want to do is showcase the system as a whole, but also showcase your seat compared to other people's seats. It's a super sweet spot because we've calibrated it with the Bach. And these speakers are very directional. The electronics are beyond reproach. I want you to hear this song, which has a lot of spatial cues, and see if you close your eyes, if you were able to locate where the speakers even are. And probably you won't even be able to locate where the walls in the room are. And then everybody behind him will have a percentage benefit. If you're off axis, it'll be no different than being off axis in any other room. Get the lights.
No, man. It was like I was standing out in this middle of the street watching cars go by.
So I know some of you may have heard this a million times, and obviously we have a ton of Bach users. But if we had always had the ability to not have crosstalk, nobody would ever go back to adding crosstalk to what every other room at this show, no matter how expensive your speakers, you are going to hear in every other room some of the left speaker in your right ear and some of the right, and that corrupts imaging. The reason we have a left speaker and a right speaker is one's for one ear, one's for the other. Anything you hear in the opposite ear is going to corrupt that imaging. And now you were able to hear it without that. You're actually using my bin, so it could actually even be even better if we could calibrate it for you, but we just don't have time to calibrate for everybody. So that's the amount of imaging, and that's just a track on streaming. It's not a gimmicky track at all. We're not even playing. I could cheat and use binaural, but we're not even doing that. So
You don't need a $300,000 system. You could have a $5,000 system. You're gonna get that same effect.
exactly. In some cases, a little desktop system with Neumann $900 speakers, insane. So
And that's the Bach.
that's the bot doing the crosstalk cancellation. Now, the percentage of benefit you get will also be dependent on great room treatments like ASC. If you have a very reverberant room, it will corrupt some of the imaging because the bot can only correct what comes out the speaker. It can't correct some of the stuff that's reflecting off your walls. If your floors are singing along, it can't dampen your floors. So there's a lot of things it can't do. So this room, though, is one of the best measurements we've ever got in a hotel show condition. And even a lot of customers don't have this good of results. So I think the next step is to do
Jason, I think we should introduce Norm so he can talk about his EVPs. He's gonna he's gonna do a giveaway for 4 of his EVPs, which is a $1,200 value.
Come on up, Norm. And I'm gonna go ahead and vouch for Norm. His EVPs that are under the speakers here.
I won't pick yours.
I use these under my sub. Now, I've had many subs in my room, and it always, you feel, I don't like to feel, some people like vibrations. We had a whole Zoom between the two of us. There are people like, I'm not even gonna name names, but big names, and they like vibrations in their chair when they hear bass, but I'm not one of those. I don't even wanna hear it, feel it on my feet. It annoys me when it's resonating the floor. And your floor will sing along. It will be a speaker. It will create sound. What Norm does, and I recommend these, number one, to be under subs first, if you do buy these. I put them under my sub, and it immediately, this is 2 10-inch drivers from Purify in my sub, 3D printed one. It totally eliminated whatever I used to have to be annoyed with a REL sub. I don't have it anymore. So this is highly recommended, but I'm gonna let Norm speak a little bit about it, and then we're gonna give away some of these. Somebody's gonna win some.
Yeah, okay, cool.
All right,
Norm!
Thank you so much. Pleasure to be here. So yes, my company, AV Room Service, we're all about noise control and sound quality. And so anything to do with small room acoustics is what I specialize in. But design, modeling, testing, and yes, we make a bunch of products too, but doesn't necessarily mean they're appropriate for whatever solution that you need. And by the way, also power quality. So it is, that's your foundation. Your equipment relies on this foundation of your acoustic environment and your power quality. It can only do what is available to it. You guys probably, well, my bold statement that some of you know, more than 90% of the audiophiles are experiencing less than 50% of their equipment's potential because they don't have their acoustics and their power quality under control. So one of the products, the one that I'm most proud of, is our equipment vibration protectors. And what these are layers of fiberglass. And so they are isolating mechanical vibrations. And I'll explain how they work and why you should be interested in them. So we make different sizes and different densities of fiberglass to handle different loads. We're talking about decoupling, we're talking about mechanical isolation so that it doesn't get into the structure and so it doesn't get into your equipment. And we want to get rid of the room, not only from a sound quality point of view, I'm sorry, an airborne point of view, but a structure-borne point of view. So from a structure-borne point of view, when your speakers or subwoofers, and as Jason alluded to, I recommend these under subwoofers first, and because they're imparting the most energy into the structure. And this is why you can hear a subwoofer at the other end of the house. But if somebody were to pick that subwoofer up, then it wouldn't be heard in the rest of the house. It would also sound way more articulate. So this product is the only acoustical product that I know of that is, from a sound quality point of view, it hits all the attributes. It improves, and if you're familiar with your system, it'll take you 3 seconds to hear this. Do I have any people that can vouch for that?
Yay, me.
There, okay, I was hoping for more.
Well, I already vouched for it. It's not so much you can hear it, you can feel it.
Yes,
Like, you will
yes.
feel less floor vibration instantly, and I don't like my feet being on like a vibrator.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
when I'm in a room.
But yes, it hits all the sound quality attributes. It will improve dynamics, tonality, articulation, sound stage, all those things, as well as noise control. So your low frequencies won't annoy somebody who's maybe trying to sleep or study. Yes, you would be able to crank it up a little bit more and not annoy anybody. So how it works is layers of fiberglass, they're intermingled with one another. And as mechanical movement causes it to move, that causes friction. And so it's mechanical energy being converted to thermal energy. I can say that and this is lab proven, with confidence, 90% of the energy from 5 hertz on up will be converted to thermal energy. And we offer a 30-day money-back guarantee. Did I cover everything all right?
What's the cost?
Oh, okay. So we make 2 sizes and 2 densities. We make custom ones all the time too. The large, and this is a large, available in round and square, is 300 each, and the smalls are 150 each. I recommend under source of vibration first, and then under sensitive electronics like turntables, tubes, anything with a quartz clock, with a clock in it. And you know, there is a hierarchy with acoustics. So anyway, that's the deal.
All right, so you're giving away a set of.
A set of these guys, yeah.
Okay.
So 4 of these guys.
Wow.
We've got 2 under your sub, yeah, in
Back
the
there,
back.
yeah.
Typically, with a subwoofer, you're going to need it's a lot of energy, and so you need more material to do more work. So though you may have a subwoofer that is light, it still requires a large one of these guys. So anyway, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll give away this. If you got a sub, put it under that first. If you only have 1 floor standing, 2 and 2 may work, but you may need 4 and you may need to buy another one. But yeah, these are the type of vendors I like to support because the product works. He actually, you can go to his booth. He'll put a musical.
Oh yeah.
I've shown it many times on my channel, but he'll show that the minutest vibration creates sound.
A lot of it.
A lot
I should
of
have brought
sound.
the music box and just
I
done
know,
it.
we should have done that.
Yeah.
But go to his booth if you haven't. These are the type of people that don't play in the snake oil room. They let you hear it, see it, science behind it. I love to support people like that, and Norman's great. And the fact that he's giving some away, that's not a cheap giveaway. So let's do a raffle for that because, yeah, it's too tough for me to judge on Name That Tune.
542 305.
Yay! Oh, that's a good score.
Okay, so we have to exchange information so I can send it to you.
I'm going to bring up some more vendors, but let's do what I think is always fun, and we had a lot of fun with this in Tampa, is doing Name That Tune. And I'm going to give you a little hint. So those of you who watch me a lot and know, have a little advantage. This is the first concert. I'm an 80s person in terms of when I was a teenager. This is the first concert I ever went to ever. And so that's all the hint I'm going to give you. But let's see who can. Mike, can you be responsible for picking out? Because you're in better. Just raise your hand and then we'll call on you. It's ideally if you can name the band and the song, but we'll go ahead with song title only if you don't know the band.
Frankie goes to Hollywood.
Yes, Frankie Goes to Hollywood, relax. That didn't take long, did it? Yeah, that was the first concert I ever went to at the Sanger Theater in New Orleans.
What do I win?
He's getting spiritual sound cables, 4 cable lifters over there.
Oh, we're giving cable lifters. Oh, wow. Okay.
Cable lifter.
Wow.
Cameron is,
I thought the name of that tune was going to be like koozies. Where are the koozies?
we got those too.
All right.
Just depends what we want, what we pick.
All right.
You gotta do it, I can name it in one or whatever.
I know. So that was deserving of a good, because that was pretty quick.
Yeah, let's get around
Give
with it.
everybody a chance. But let
I
me
haven't won
see.
anything yet.
You haven't won anything?
What?
Probably going to stay that way.
I haven't received my parting gift for that last victory.
All right, I'm gonna do another name that tune, and this one, this is gonna be more modern. If you're really paying attention to my Instagram, which I'm on Audiophile Junkie Instagram, what I post on Instagram is more of the fun stuff. And I wanna give a shout out to my friends here. It almost brings a tear in my eye, because all my friends here that I've spent a week with are all people I met only through the channel. I never knew them before, and I've been able to spend a whole week with them. How many friends you even want to spend with a day? But we've been spending time together for a whole week. They came to my Airbnb, first guest. They've been here. We had a great time in Fredericksburg, so shout out to all those people. And
Alcohol was involved.
and what also is great is they're very supportive. One of the things that has really inspired me is a lot of the brands that I represent and people have bought, they've been such fans. They'll come here like Dave Husto and others, and they will work this room for no pay, helping out in the room and giving testimonials or allowing people to come to their homes.
Well, that's the brotherhood, right?
It's such a brotherhood that people are passionate about the brands that I represent and what they've got in return. They're willing to work for free. So big props to all my friends that were all through the channel. So a big reward for me is not the monetary, it's that. But what it brings me full circle, one of the songs that we did is we went to a great karaoke bar in Fredericksburg. So if you book at my Airbnb, you've got to go one night to Velvet Lounge. We had a great time. And we got Michaela, who's in the back, drunk enough to go on stage.
Raise your hand, Michaela.
Michaela is in the back.
There you go. What's that
Michaela,
shirt say?
Michaela found one song, and she found lots of friends in the bar at the time to do this song. So let's see how many people, this will not be 80s, I'll give you that, but otherwise, let's see if you recognize it.
You got this one, Dave.
No.
I'm not.
Oh, I got it. I will survive.
I was back, but that's a good,
That was a trick, yeah.
It's very close, tricky.
That was definitely the opening.
Yeah.
Okay,
It
here we
definitely
go.
sounded like that.
That one back here.
He's got it.
I think you got it.
Yeah.
Who?
Pink
Right there.
Yeah.
Pink Pony Club. I'll play a little bit of this song while we give people that come in a chance to get their tickets. And if you want to get a drink real quick. And then $2,000 cable is going to be on tonight. So, Cameron?
Wow.
Get a chance to talk about his cable and his design, and then this is one of the prizes of tonight. Biggest prizes we're giving away. Take it over.
So I'm Cameron, relatively new company, Spiritual Sound. Opened up about 2.5, 3 years ago. What started me off, I wasn't a cable guy. I didn't believe in this stuff. I thought it was a bunch of crazy bored dudes just saying they heard things just to be different than their buddies. I had kind of like a friend who's pretty well-to-do, and he was gonna buy, I think it was like a $5,000 Ethernet cord. I thought this guy was nuts out of his mind. And I was in kind of like this hold my beer moment. I was like, I'll make you a cable. I had no idea how to make a cable. So I do some research. I'm like, okay, well, silver, it's the most conductive thing on earth. So that'll probably be pretty good. And then, you can twist it together. Anyway, I make him this cable. I'm like, okay, well, I better make sure I don't blow his equipment up. So let me just see if it works. I plugged it in, hit play, and my jaw hit the floor. Because I was blown away by what I was hearing. Everything sounded more natural. Everything sounded cleaner. Everything sounded crisper. One of the big things I definitely remember was like, you hit a note on a piano and you don't hear, you hear the note, but you also hear higher notes and you hear lower notes. I mean, we call that timbre, but I was getting that. And I wasn't ever getting that really before. You would just hit it and it'd be dunk, dunk, dunk. Oh, it's a piano playing. But this, it just had this resonance and everything spread out. So then I'm having a severe case of ADHD. I had to really just like dive in because, if anybody knows about ADHD, we only have 2 speeds. We can't pay attention to anything or it's extreme hyper focus. So, and that's what I did. I went down every rabbit hole. I had to figure this all out and started making cables for my buddies and letting them try stuff out. Stayed with the silver because it was just so magical for that one time. And it's kind of where the name evolved from, just a spiritual sound. I won't bore you with all the science and stuff for like the geometry and the stuff. We can nerd out later about that stuff. But the focus of everything has just been, pure, natural, real music. And silver gets a bad rap for being overly bright and, it can be glary. And yeah, that's possible. And maybe back in the day when they weren't using such high purity silver. But when it's right, it's right. And I think I got something. And, where every cable here is all of my designs. And then we're also down in 743. And all my cables are down there too. So if anyone wants to go down there at any time, let me know. We'll go open up that room tonight. Did I forget anything, Mike?
Those speakers in their room.
So we have the WR1s. So that's the one model down from this speaker. And they are incredible. Voiced a little bit differently, but man, it's pretty magical. And that room is really singing too. So we're having a great time, and this has been great. And hanging out with all you guys has been
On the
wonderful.
USB cable from Cameron again.
Cameron, the man. Cameron in the house.
This is incredible. So thank you to Cameron. We're going to do that one through a raffle.
We have tickets from everybody?
Yes, we should.
Everybody
Why don't
that's
you do it
come
through
in.
a 60 song so I have a chance.
The 80s were good too.
I didn't think the dinosaurs made music.
Cameron, come on, pick this because you've been very generous.
So if you guys remember the little story I told about the Ethernet, this is a USB, and it's built the same, very similar build. So yeah, it's just this was using like 20 gauge solid silver, and if you look at ever open up a USB cable, they're using just tiny little copper stuff. A lot of people talk about like this is a digital signal; it's sending packets of information. How is it affecting sound? Because then it still has to be decoded and unpacked. Again, a lot of boring science stuff I'd love to talk to you about, and we go through great lengths just to make it like as good as we possibly can. It's a really fun cable, and it'll have that kind of. You would never think that a digital cable is really going to make such a difference. This is going to be one of those that will surprise you. All right, so it'll be an easy number like the last one. It was 3, 2, 3, 2, 1.
1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3. Yeah. This one has no numbers on it. 3, 1, 5. 3, 1, 5.
That's the last 3 digits?
Yeah,
You gotta
Thank you. New numbers. You don't claim it in 5 seconds, it goes to somewhere else.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So many vendors that don't even show up at the show. Don't give stuff away. support these vendors, even if you don't win tonight. These are the kind of people that I vet very closely.
I have a request.
Yes.
So since Cameron brought up piano,
Okay.
I want to play a piano track so they can hear.
All right.
Exactly.
You go ahead.
John?
So folks don't, only a few know this, but for the last 3.5 years, I've done nothing but record piano. Just to perfect what is the best way to record a piano. So I'm gonna play you something, and this is actually, it's a 9-foot concert grand in my house. It is a piano technician that's playing, so not like anybody magical, but I want you to understand how good this full stack Prodigio, EVP, Aries Cerat, spiritual sound cables will do for you here, so.
And he's gonna play it on the piano behind us.
Ah. 300 grand.
Is the Bacchi is,
The Bacchi. Bacchi sounds fish.
Because we're getting too easy with the Name That Tune. I came up with a much more difficult song, but it's going to be a much better prize. Which one is this?
This is a Viablue Ethernet.
Oh, Viablue Ethernet, okay.
What?
I know, exactly. I should. All right, so we're going to do a Viablue Ethernet cable.
Which that's.
And I'll probably have to give you a little tip, but if you have been paying attention to my YouTube shorts, and you have to realize you're in Texas, so you're going to probably want to have a Texas country music basis behind it.
Is that right?
Yes, making it difficult.
Unless you're from Texas.
Amazing how things happen.
I went to my apartment, the restaurant side, we were doing like craft work,
Yeah.
Kids are in town for a funeral. So pack the car and dry your eyes.
Well, there are a lot of cheeses put on the big.
You got it. Zach Ryan, Pink Skies.
Can't sign it.
And so he's a country artist, and I just recently, it's been out for a couple years, but I'm a big fan of Neil Young, Heart of Gold. I thought that starting a song with a harmonica was just so, I don't know, I love a harmonica done right. And since Heart of Gold is one of my favorite songs ever, when I heard this, I'm like, who's starting with a harmonica that's actually quite good? And it's about him getting his mom, it resonates with me because my mom passed away. He's talking about cleaning out the house for his mom and, getting it ready for like somebody's never been in before. So I'll play the rest of the song while we get ready. Not all country is bad is what I've learned. I used to be one of those guys, anything but country. But if you think about it now, of all the genres, the only people playing instruments now are country artists. If you want to hear a band playing, I went to the rodeo, it's only the country artists. Everybody else is just doing choreography, lip syncing, dancing and stuff. So country is cool now, and even like Beyonce's doing it. But yeah, country is better.
Unique.
This is from Unique Hawaii. Mike Sweck. And a big props to Mike. Not only did Mike come out several times, one of the few vendors helping me with the Airbnb and teaching me a lot about construction, even how to, hammer a nail. Now I'm an expert. Yeah, and he's also been very instrumental helping the other rooms, getting Prodigios. I don't think people understand how difficult it is right now in the business environment to be a distributor, to do the stuff. It's not the most lucrative like it was in COVID. So you've got to, again, give props to people that are showing up, giving you guys this entertainment, giving you guys these shows. So big props to Mike. Should we do? I think we'll do, this is worthy of a raffle ticket because this is
Yep, raffle ticket.
What's that? What is that?
Just turn around and show everybody.
320. What did it say?
Did you pick the outfit?
Never.
What do you think? 320. Winner.
I gave caution against.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Sure. Not rigged. Thanks to Mike for his personal stash.
Yes, we have another set of cable lift and some camera. You must be doing good on cables.
Yeah. And then what we're gonna do with this is pick a song that also was done at the karaoke this past weekend. Measurements matter, and you can tell the difference between a good measuring and if you know how to interpret the measurements, they matter. If you don't have, and people say, flat isn't good. Well, number one, I guarantee you 100% of the people that say that have never, ever heard flat at their listening position. They can't prove it. They never have heard a speaker that goes 20 to 20,000 hertz flat at their listening position. Never. I can prove it because I've got it in my room and I've got the measurements to prove it. If you can't prove you never heard flat, you can't say you don't like flat, okay? And what I will tell you is when you play these songs like Radiohead and others that are not the best recording, what you'll find is that you're not now restricted to only 4 or 5 audiophile approved songs. Half of these rooms you go into, if you ask to play, I went into a room today, I'm not gonna call it out, I asked for a non-audiophile recording, they literally stopped it halfway through because it didn't sound good on their system. It shouldn't sound, your favorite recording should not sound bad. These recording engineers, yes, there is a delta in quality of recordings, I'm not denying that. Most people are competent. What people like to do is blame the recording and blame the recording instrument for their own system and room being out of whack, okay? If you get a flat response in your listening room you will find that most recordings are not only playable, they're enjoyable. And you should be able to not avoid stuff in your room. That was the biggest change for me. I only had 10 recordings that I could play for people that sounded good. You don't want to be that audiophile for long because this hobby gets very fatiguing and very expensive when you can only play a few songs. If you can play anything you like at your listening position and enjoy it, that's when you really enjoy this hobby much more. So a flat frequency response. Now, tailoring it for a little bit of deviation, I understand, but just have no corrections whatsoever, no respect for any measurements. Nobody designs equipment that way, so the odds of you finding some manufacturer that has the same taste profile of you, even if you like ketchup on your steak, the odds of finding another manufacturer that likes the same amount of ketchup on steak as you, very hard. And frankly, if you like ketchup on your steak, the only way to do it is with DSP, because you can go ahead and boost as much bass as you want or as much treble as you want. That's the only way to do it. If you really want to do it the right way and get not flat, use DSP to create whatever wacky formula you want. But that's my little tirade on it because I'm tired of hearing people say measurements don't matter and measurements don't make a difference. They really do. It takes interpretation of them and a suite of measurements to understand it. And that's what you get when you get the Bach. You're gonna get experts. All these people in the room will share with you all the techniques so you don't have to live in ignorance anymore about that side of things. And I'll go ahead and talk about the sub I'm gonna be giving away later. We'll probably save that for last. I built this sub on my own. I never even did a video about it. It came out much better than I thought. I bought a very dense cabinet. It doesn't look that much from the outside, but super dense, very thick, non-resonant, and then I put acoustic elegance driver, which if you don't know about it, I had to learn the hard way. When you deal with this guy, you know, the guy from Acoustic Elegance creates a great product, but it's strictly through email. You can't even talk to him through the phone, and it's like a 6-month wait. But consistently, every speaker that I really like, from IO Designs to many others, they always had acoustic elegance driver. I think even Aries Cerat uses it in theirs. And I wanted it in a sub, so I waited the 6 months for it. It's not a cheap driver, built it myself, and then I compared it to my Rel 25, which was a $7,000–8,000 sub, and it was getting the same measurements, if not better. And especially when you passively amplify it versus using these plate amps or onboard amps, that sometimes that's not the best environment for an amp. That's why I wanted a passive sub. Putting an amp inside of a violent, vibrating environment those things tend to fail, and sometimes they're cheap to begin with. So anyway, it worked out really well.
I promise when we pull up, shut the club down. I took her from a man, I don't really know. If you bought the seal, better drive slow. She know how to make me feel when my eyes close. Anything goes down with the hurt. You know I love when the music start. Come and strip that down for me, baby. There's a lot of people in the crowd, but I hear you dance to me. So put your hands on my body.